Hello, dear students. My name is Dr. Kapil Chaturvedi, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Sagar Institute of Research and Technology. Today, we will discuss a topic in this video, Principles of Modern Software Management in our subject Project Management. Under the topic, we will discuss principles of modern software management. Formally, software developers should not test their own software. This thing is very important. You cannot check your own code. Uh, if you have to implement optimized code, uh, error-free code, then you can develop it. But if you want a well logic, a code with well logic, then I think there is a need of a tester which will check your code and suggest you what kind of suggestions you should make in your code. In a similar manner, if we discuss about a project testing, so you cannot test your own software. So that the whole topic depends on that discussion, where we will discuss the principles of modern software management. We will discuss to improve the quality of implementation of our project. So the first thing is that software developer should not test their own software. Why? They should not be primary testers of their own software. Using coupling and cohesion are best way to measure. You study both of the topic coupling and cohesion in software engineering subject, where the topic explains you how much relate to modules with each other. Software maintainability and adaptability of our employees will work in far better way if we have high expectations for them. So there are some points on which we will discuss the topic principles of modern software management. So these are all are the major factors on which we will discuss the topic. So very first point is architecture is the first approach, and second one is iterative life cycle process, then component based approach, then change management system, round trip engineering, model based evaluation, objective quality control, evolving levels of details, such are configurable process, demonstration based approach. So one by one we'll discuss these points. The first point is the architecture is the first approach. So architecture is the first approach. It means when we implement a software, before implementing that, you all know that when we go to implement a minor project or the major project, firstly we develop a flow chart. Also we develop a data flow diagram, and then we develop a relationship diagram to implement a database and to um, decide what kind of relations between different tables and what would be the data flow during the implementation of software, and what kind of data will be flow, what kind of authorization we are providing. So to pre-decide these things, we implement our architecture, and this architecture will decide that how much strong your software will be. So that is the architecture is the first approach. And second point says that iterative life cycle process. So many of the students asked before starting the project, sir, where, how to start the project, what kind of procedures we have to adopt to implement the project. And teachers suggest that you should follow the SDLC steps, where recognition of need, feasibility study, analysis, design, implementation, post implementation. So by following these steps, by applying uh, these steps and iterative life cycles uh, software develop. And if we remove these steps in software implementation process, then the whole process of software implementation will be too much complex. So that steps is that an iterative life cycle process, we repeated the process again and again to eliminate the risk factors. In iterative life cycle, we mainly have four steps: requirement gathering, design, implementation, and testing. So as we say that in previous lectures, SDLC phases defined in different ways in different kind of literature. Here, these SDLC phases defined as design, implementation, and testing. Uh, for step requirements gathering, design, implementation, and testing. So, what we are discussing one step more in this point, iterative life cycle. It means here we are discussing that with by following life cycle, we also repeatedly follow that because time to time project update uh, is required when the policies change, when different offers uh, change in the company, taxation policies changes, and if company launch any new product, new branch, then a new portal will be added. So in such kind of cases, iterative life cycle will be required. Third point is to improve the quality of the project is component-based approach. Component-based approach is that uh, today is the era of time saving, quality maintainability, and also economically economic factor is most important in the software implementation in today's life. To focus on these all things, component-based approach uh, plays a vital role because component-based approach says that uh, developers adopt the concept of reusability. As we know that uh, most of the organizations are already computerized, and most of the concepts are already developed. So software companies prepare a library of different kind of modules. When a software company receive any SAM project, then developers, uh, instead of developing new product, try to find that similar product in the library and make appropriate changes and update the library. Also use that modules in the project. So here saving uh, time saving is the important point because if we save the time of development, cost will be automatically direct reduce of total costing of project. So, in component-based approach is widely used and successful approach in which we reuse previously defined functions for the software development. We reuse the part of code in the form of components, component-based UI, user interfaces, development optimize the requirement and design process, and thus is one of the important models of reference. The next one is change management system. Change management system says that change management system is the process responsible for managing all changes. The main aim of change management is to improve the quality of software by performing necessary changes. All changes implemented are then tested and certified. Here, the point is nothing new. As we discussed in the last point, uh, we follow the repeated life cycle to implement a product. And we follow the repeated life cycle. Why? Because we have to make changes, continuously changes. Today softwares require continuously changes due to the various regions. Like if we are talking about any billing system, that we see that tax policies change. When tax policies change, GST policies change, though then software also require the changes So the change management helps to change the software easily. If we follow the change management system, then we can make changes easily. In the round trip engineering, code generation and reverse engineering tasks place at the same time in a dynamic environment. Both components are integrated so that developers can easily work on both of them. In round trip engineering, the main characteristic is automatic update of artifacts. That point says that, as we discussed in the last lecture, artifact is nothing. Artifact are the document which help us to uh, document all the functioning of, or we can say that the manual or the documentation of the project is known as the artifact, that may be in the textual form or in the different graphical representations form. So round trip engineering says that there should be a mechanism by which we can update our artifact automatically when we make the changes in the project. Model based evolution says that during the implementation of project, we just not have to use the SDLC step to develop a product, software product. We adopt a well-known model to implement that product, because each and every software is different, and as per the requirement, as per the customer's requirement, uh, developers adopt the model, appropriate model, to implement the software uh, in a minimum time with best quality and less cost. Now, objective quality control. Quality control is to improve the quality of our software. It involves quality management plan, quality matrices, quality checklist, quality baseline, and quality improvement measures. As we if we relate that point to the object-oriented programming says that we'll have to keep each and every concept in a well-arranged manner. We'll have to create different classes. We'll have to create different modules, and we'll have to put different modules functions in different related classes. If we arrange that, these all things in a tabular format, in a matrix format, so we can easily understand that. In a similar manner, here we make different management plans, quality matrices, it means tables, tabular formats, quality checklist to check the quality time to time, to assess the software, quality baseline, it means our product, our module is as per the required quality or not, and quality improvement measures, it means time to time, quality control, quality assurance department check that the software quality is proper or not, where we roughly discuss the topic called code optimization. So code optimization is a part of quality improvement. Now, evolving level of details. So that says that plan intermediate release in groups of users scenarios with evolving levels of details. We must plan an incremental release in which we have an evolving level of use case, architecture, and details. So here increment term, it means um, continuous management uh, will continuous management require uh, in a software after launching the software, after deploy client side to deploy a software, continuous management is going on. So during that phase, continuous increment will be go on when client says or client require any kind of requirement, new updation, new portal in their software, web application, or in a product. So that point says that we must plan an incremental release in which we have an evolving level of use case. So we'll have to properly um, plan out that how we incremental release the products. Establish a configurable process. Establish a configurable process is important when um, we connect multiple applications. Formally, establish a configurable process that is economically scalable. One single process is not suitable for all development, so we must use a configurable process which can deal with various applications. As I'm saying to you that here we are connecting different applications. For example, if we are taking an example of a online shopping e-commerce site where we are making a web page and where we are showing our products to sell out, and when one of the customer purchase our product and make the online change online payment, so on that place we use a payment gateway. So we are connecting our application with the payment gateway application. So here if we implement our own gateway website and we add that features in our applications, so that thing will be very nonsensical, because the uh, online payment gateway application is already available with full of security features. So why we best our efforts to implement such kind of applications if that application is already available, so that we will link that application with the payment gateway application. So here here we use the term configurable. Configurable, it means we are making the configuration, we are connecting our application with the payment gateway application. This is all about the principles of modern software management. Here we discuss 10 points under that principles of modern software management. So remember that diagram which we discussed firstly, the diagram and the key points architecture where we implement different, we are discussing about different graphical representations of our project, iterative life cycle where we discuss about the HDLC. So each and every point relate with a keyword. So keep in mind that keyword, and also keep in mind a real-time software example, and think that we are working on a live project, so that you can attempt the question and keep in mind the topic very easy. So thank you so much. If you have any query, then you can contact to me on kapil.rgtu@gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you so much. So the under that project management subject, we cover that topic. So any care, if you have any query, you may also contact to me on 9990 700 777. Thank you. Thank you so much.